All right, ladies and gentlemen, DSP here, and welcome to part 2 of Ask the King for April 26, 2018. If you did not watch part 1 first and you're watching this on YouTube, recommend you go back and watch the first part first, but we're going to jump right back into the forum questions, so let's do it. The next question is from the Spoony one. Is it really Spoony who posted this question up on my forums? Probably not. We all know who the real Spoony is. But the question is as follows. Hey, Phil. Wondering if you plan on doing any gaming convention panels in the next year. I'd totally be up to fly wherever it is to see you. Have a good day. Spoony one, the era of me doing those kind of panels is over. The very short time period that I actually did them was 2012 to 2013, when I was kind of at the height of my popularity on YouTube. In this day and age, first of all, for me to even be on a panel would be ridiculous. I don't think anyone would even... They're like, dude, you know... Sure, you bring in a couple million views a month on YouTube. You got a decently popular Twitch channel, but these gaming conventions have now become so popular, and there's so many people now doing what I do, they're going to take the people who have way more followers, way more viewers than me. I would probably never be able to even to get as a person like that. I would never be able to be a guest speaker or on a panel or anything like that ever again, more than likely. You know, I mean, just being real here. That era was a time when I was really white hot popular on YouTube. I was one of the top guys. And then, you know, as things started to change, you know, that opportunity kind of doesn't present itself anymore. I really doubt that any gaming convention would be interested in having Darkside Phil as a guest or having a panel at their convention. I'm just saying, all right? Number two, I'm too busy. As you guys know, 6 days a week, I'm live streaming here to pay my bills. If I don't live stream for several days at a time, I lose money. And in May, in particular, I'm going to be taking about 2 to 3 days just for my own personal sanity and to spend some time with my girlfriend. I'm taking a few days away from streaming, and I know it's going to hit me right in the pocketbook because of it. But it is what it is. I need to do it. But no, I don't have the time and means to do it anymore. Back then, again, 2012, 2013, I was making tons of money on YouTube. I was way more popular than I am right now. I could take a week off from doing videos for YouTube, and I know that I could be fine. You know what I mean? In addition, back then I would do vlogging at these events, and the vlogs would get ridiculous amounts of views on YouTube. Now my vlogging barely gets any views and gets demonetized anyway. So, see what I mean? It's a bygone era. You're not going to be seeing me as a guest at any kind of convention or anything probably ever again. Just being real talk with you guys. All right. Kate just did a 25-bit cheer and said, "Happy Thursday, Phil. I wish you the best. Stop letting the haters get to you. If you ain't got no haters, you ain't popping." There you go. Social and National asked, "Do I plan on living off Amazon and Twitch forever?" Dude, I don't plan on anything happening. I never planned on being a YouTuber. I never planned on being a streamer. I never planned on any of this shit happening. It just happened. Who knows what the future holds? And sadly, in the kind of industry I'm in, there's no way I could plan for it either. So we'll just see what happens, I guess. Okay? All right. Okay. Let's see. The next question. Phil, you recently said that you're growing increasingly wary of doing DSP Tries It due to lack of advertisement revenue from the King of Hate Vlogs channel and the cost of purchasing products for the series. Well, how about you would add an extra perk to the $10 donation level on Patreon and give patrons the ability to vote on what the subject for the next DSP Tries It video is. This could offset the cost of purchase, whilst giving an extra incentive for people to donate to Patreon. And that's from Wolf. Alright. Since this seemed like an interesting suggestion, alright, let's talk about it, guys. And I'm interested to actually see people's direct responses in stream chat while I'm live streaming. If I had a perk level on Patreon where you guys could nominate and vote, much like you do with games for playthroughs. Let's say for 1 month, you would nominate and then vote on a product for me to try for DSP Tries It. All right? And I would have to create criteria. It would probably be the cost of the product has to be, you know, maybe $15 or less or something like that. Has to be readily available in the United States. Maybe it has to be a food item that's readily available at a chain that I'm near. Not, oh, go to, you know, Carl's Jr. that doesn't exist here. Obviously, I can't do that, right? I mean, that would be viable. It would be more work because I'd have to set up a poll. I'd have to make sure everyone's abiding by the criteria and all that. But I think it would work. The question is, would you guys be interested? You, the viewers, would you pledge to my Patreon? Let's say we'll keep it low. Let's say it would either be $5 or $10. Would you consider pledging that much to my Patreon a month if you could nominate and vote on a product? Doesn't have to be food, but something for me to try for DSP Tries It. Would you do that? Or is it just like, man, DSP Tries It is just something fun Phil did for a while for fast food or whatever, but we're not willing to pledge money to nominate and vote? What do you think? Because I'd be willing to do that. That's an easy one. That's one I could implement immediately starting in May. If you pledge so-and-so, okay, you qualify for this, and you can nominate and vote. What it would be, more than likely, I mean, I'll be real with you guys. I'd keep it low. In fact, I would probably say $5. I would leave it at the $5 level. Here's why. Because you would need premium forum access to nominate and vote. So I would just say if you're a $5 patron, all right, you get premium forum access, you nominate stuff for a week, and then you vote on it for a week. So it takes the first 2 weeks of the month, you get your premium forum access, you're in there, then you nominate for a week, then you vote for a week, and by the end of the month, we got a new product nominated for DSP Tries It, and that'll be the new episode for the next month. How does that sound? It would be $5. And by the way, that keeps you'd still have the ability to nominate and vote for games for upcoming events like Patron's Choice. All that would be for $5. Would you guys pledge for that? So now let me read the stream chat feedback, just so people realize I'm not lying or whatever. I'm going to, right here live, I'm going to read what people have to say about this. You ready? Here we go. Olivia Soares says, I like the idea. Why this is... Dude, I don't want it to keep fucking scrolling down. I'm scrolling way up, and it's still scrolling down. It's pissing me off. I don't want it to scroll down. Okay, here we go. I got it to stop. Here we go. No, I think it's too expensive for a point of entry. Yes, yes, yes. Yes. No, no, no. Not really good. I can't even afford a subscription, so I can't pledge to Patreon either. Probably not. Honestly, no. That is good. No. No, no, no. $10 is too high. That's why I said $5. Boo, bad idea. Heck yes, good idea. Bad idea, to be honest. I definitely would pledge. Bad idea. No, no, yes. No, 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 no. It is a good idea. Yes. Good idea. Yes. I would be a patron for this. Yes. No. Okay. That was a mix. I would definitely say reading those responses, that's a mix. Some yeses, some nos. At least it wasn't no, 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 no. Then I would have been like, oh, fuck. That's I guess it's a bad idea. So, Wolf, congratulations, Wolf. You actually presented an idea. I think Wolf, I mean, this is real talk, maybe the first person in like 2 years, okay, who's actually suggested something for Ask the King that actually may work. And not Ask the King. Boy, I can't speak today. Let's try this again. Wolf may be the first person in over 2 years who actually suggested something as a new patron perk that may actually fucking work. I think this may work. All right? So here's what I'm going to do. Let's mull it over for another day or two, but I'm going to keep this in mind. And what I'm going to probably do is come May, I'm going to update my Patreon page to say the $5 perk now also will allow you to nominate and vote on an item for DSP Tries It. And I'll create those criteria and post those up on my website, okay? And maybe we'll do it for a month. Let's see how it goes for a month. Will this convince more people to pledge $5 level to my Patreon, right? And if it does, great. That helps me. And if I make enough, let's be honest, 4 or 5 people already are covering the cost of whatever the product is that they pick. And we could go from there. I think this is a good idea. I think so. And no Encelor, it could not be less than 5. Reason being, when you create really low levels like that, now you're creating way too much work because it's all a manual process. For example, every person who gets premium forum access, I have to manually every month go to patreon.com, see who pledged $5, click on all their names, send them a mass message, get their messages back manually, file them via email, get that personal information, send that to my webmaster. My webmaster then has to upgrade them on the forums, let me know that they're upgraded. Then once they're upgraded, then they have to know to go to the thread and do stuff. See what I mean? That's a ton of work. Now imagine doing that for 100 new people because everyone did it for $2. It's too much work. I can't. For just me doing it, I can't. I'm sorry. So it has to be the $5 perk level where I already have a system in place and already we have a premium forum access set up. I couldn't do another $2 premium forum access. It's too much work. So it would be $5 or more. There you go. All right. Social and national, no, I'm not particularly looking for new mods right now. SDad5000, cheers to Where's Cat? She's at work. In fact, she gets out of work soon. A few minutes. And then, of course, she has to come home. But, yeah, she'll be home soon. Social and National cheered again and said, you can do a 5-second video on YouTube saying you're starting the stream on Twitch and then delete it after the video. It goes live to get more people on streams. Or people could just learn my streaming schedule. Because I do the same schedule every day. And people who want to watch on YouTube, watch on YouTube. And people who want to watch on Twitch, watch on Twitch. It's not like you know what I mean? Like, I don't honestly think putting out a video on YouTube every day when I go live would have any positive effect whatsoever. I'm being real here. I don't. I don't think it would make any sense. And, by the way, when you delete videos on YouTube, if you delete too many, YouTube sees that as a negative against your channel. I'm not even kidding. They do. So I don't see the point of it. Kate just cheered 100 bits. She has a question. What are my thoughts on the DCEU movies? I really don't have many thoughts on them. I haven't liked many of them at all. I did not even see the last few because I don't care to spend money. If Wonder Woman goes free on demand, I'll watch it. But I didn't see Wonder Woman, I didn't see Justice League, and I have no desire to see any more of them because I didn't like Batman vs. Superman. I thought Suicide Squad sucked. Yolo Dopper Cheers says, if you put at $1, you'll get 1,000 people to pledge. No, I won't. I'm not reading no more of those cheers. This guy's ridiculous. All right, on to the next forum question. HK47A asks the following. He says, I hope you're doing well, and I was wondering how come you do double streams instead of one long stream? Yes, I know you take a break for dinner, but why not eat on stream? People love to see that kind of stuff. Always an interest in food. Every other streamer I follow eats on stream. You can easily interact with chat too. It would be a hell of a lot better than watching 15 frames per second PUBG. I don't know what the hell that has to do with anything. Thank you for your time and have a good one. All right, guys. Real talk. Real talk. All right. In regards to my length of my streams and the like. First of all, my first gameplay stream, I start at 10 in the morning and it ends at 4 p.m. All right, that's 6 hours straight of streaming. Now, I take one break, one 15 to 20 minute break during that period of time. Okay, so, why don't you stream 8 hours? Well, I already streamed 6. Just because out of that there's a little bit of setup and there's a pre-stream doesn't mean that I'm not streaming 6 hours. I am. All right, then I take a couple hours break and I do a nighttime stream. All right, why do I break my streams up? There's a couple of reasons. First of all, because my streams are different content, all right? It allows me to play a variety of games. I am a variety streamer. I am not a streamer who just plays the same game at length every single time I play a game, all right? I'm not. So doing 2 streams a day allows me to break that up and let you know there's variety content so you can watch one game or the other game or both, but you have a variety and you have a schedule and you know when to show up for the game you want to see. Versus, Phil's just playing this game for 10 hours today. That's different, and then that's not a lot of variety potential. A lot of people, for example, got burnt out on me playing God of War in the past week. What if I was only doing one long stream of God of War every day? I would have lost even more viewership. People wouldn't have been showing up for Yakuza. People wouldn't show up for tomorrow for, Ultra Street Fighter 2 or PUBG or Bloodborne. They would just be like, well, he's just playing God of War on at length, so screw it, and I'll never show up again. So that's another thing. Having the split allows me to do various games, and it ends up being better. Also, I talked about this already on this episode. I'll talk about it again. Being sedentary for extended periods of time is not good. All right? Me sitting here from 10 to 4 with one 20-minute break in itself is not healthy. Now, imagine if I was here from 10 a.m. till 10 p.m. with 2 20-minute breaks, one of which I'm wolfing down food. That's terrible. I'm 36 years old, guys. I'm not 20 years old, I have to get up and move around and do physical activity and do other things besides just sitting still. Blood clots, cholesterol issues. There's like a million things that can happen. Heart disease if you're just constantly sitting. So I need to have the opportunity to have these breaks in between for my own health. And then, of course, there's the reality of the situation. Making food. What food am I going to eat if I'm only taking small breaks between my streams? Crappy fast food that I microwave? I certainly wouldn't have time to make any meals or anything if I was doing a crazy long stream or whatever, right? So that wouldn't even make sense. And in addition to that, there's time that I'm trying to spend right now with my girlfriend. And the 2 times I get to see my girlfriend during the day, that break between my 2 streams that I take, and probably about an hour after my final stream before she goes to bed to get up for work the next day. So already I don't get to see her that much. Now I'm going to take that away. See, it doesn't make any sense. The people who who are streaming these incredibly long streams and taking no breaks and are eating during stream are probably much younger than me, don't have the life that I have, that's for sure. The bottom line is if I had started streaming when I was 20 years old and it was something that was making me a lot of money, I probably would have streamed marathons all the time and I would have done these kind of ridiculously unhealthy things and stuff like this. But for the most part, it's not something that makes sense for me at 36 years old. I've got to be conscious of myself, conscious of my health, conscious of, you know, being able to move around, being able to cook healthier meals and do this stuff. I can't just be sitting here streaming 10 straight, 12 straight hours. It's the same thing people ask me, why don't I do crazy long marathons like other YouTubers? Why don't you do a 23-hour marathon? Because I'm going to die. I would go to the hospital. You know? Sorry, that's just reality. People don't seem to realize this. And, you know, I understand that because a lot of you guys, quite frankly, are much younger than me. And I understand that. Maybe you're in different health conditions than me, right? And stuff like that. That's fine. But I'm not in that situation. I need my breaks. I want to see my girlfriend. I want to eat healthy meals. I don't want to have a life that 100% is degraded because I'm sitting here streaming for 12 hours a day and I don't move and I become a big unhealthy blob and I die of heart disease. Sorry, that's just real talk, all right? Necro Noel cheered and said, I'm not sure, given your thoughts about this, but did you see the new Venom trailer? I saw some of it. I wasn't impressed. It seems to me it's going to be one of these CGI, very heavy movies. And quite frankly, it isn't great. I mean, Tom Hardy's a good actor, but what are they going to do with the plot? I don't know. I wasn't impressed by the trailer. I'll leave it short and sweet. I wasn't impressed. All right. That's it for the forum questions. Now we're going to move on to Twitter questions. All right. And then after Twitter questions, by the way, Twitter questions were really good this week. I got a lot of really good questions that I want to give you elaborate answers on. And then we're going to do live Q&A with the stream. All right. So let's get into some Twitter questions here. So the first question is from that Xer guy. And he says, what is the craziest thing that you ever heard people say about you or say something about you? Well, you guys certainly know a lot of the crazy things, all right, that people say and do in regards to me. Probably two of the craziest are things that happened just recently. Because here's the thing. People, when my ex-girlfriend accused me of going out with a girl who was underage, which was a lie, never happened. She was always of age when I was dating her and stuff like that. But they call me a pedophile. But that's just stupidity, right? Phil's a scam artist. What? Okay, prove it. And there's no proof whatsoever. It's just completely, you know, things that are based on snippets of fact that are completely spun out of proportion and not true, whatever. And when I tell the full story, people are like, that's really what happened? Yeah, that's really what happened, but people don't want to say that. They want to make up shit, right? But that stuff is just normal stuff. The two things that probably were the craziest, number one, that I had a escort that I was paying to come visit me and pretend to be my girlfriend. And that during the holidays or during December, the time that I took off, I was spending with an escort. And the fact that apparently I was spending money that I was raising on my streams for an escort rather than for taxes, which is what I was trying to raise it for. Just crazy shit like that. It's insanity. And the thing is, none of it was based on any snippet of truth. There was no factual evidence. There was not anything because it was completely fabricated. It was 100% fake. It wasn't like, oh, there was a little bit of base of fact that we based it on. It was complete bullshit. And it was complete identity theft and catfishing. But the people who make this shit up and spread these rumors about me are so fucking dumb that they believed it and they bought it hook, line, and sinker because they're that stupid. They're that ignorant and stupid. They all bought it. And for months, it was 2 months, where this bullshit lie and rumor was pushed along and spread about all this, right? You know, this is so ridiculously dumb. And, you know, Chuck Morris says he likes my shirt. Well, then you should give a shout out to Kat. Kat actually bought me this shirt. She saw it in a store and she said this would be something cool you could wear on stream. So shout out to Kat for buying me this shirt. I really do like the shirt. Thank you, baby. All right. So that went on for 2 months. You know, people catfishing the internet into believing that I had an escort or whatever. And I guess eventually what was supposed to happen, they were going to try to extort me out of money and say that if I didn't pay them money to shut up, that they were going to keep going and keep slandering me. When in reality, I knew eventually it was going to blow up anyway. Because again, there was no factual evidence. It was a complete fabricated lie. So how the hell is that ever going to eventually hurt me? I don't know. All right. But the other thing that I would say that was the most ridiculous thing just happened recently. There was some streamer, I guess he's an FGC streamer. I don't know who the fuck he is. Never heard of him. But apparently on stream, he said to his followers, oh, Darkside Phil, oh, Darkseid Phil's that guy. He's hated by the entire fighting game community, and he was permanently banned from every tournament because he went to EVO and he was trying to stab people or threaten people with a knife. And he didn't ever, I don't know if he ever corrected himself or whatever, but he said this to all his viewers, like hundreds of viewers on stream. And people were like, wow, that guy's a real piece of shit. He would go threaten people with a knife. That never happened at all. He apparently got me confused with another guy from the fighting game community who I guess did do that. I don't know. But that has nothing to do with me whatsoever. I was an organizer of the fighting game community. I was someone who ran tournaments. I was someone who was well respected on the East Coast of the United States as a top player and a tournament organizer. I was the person who ended fights at tournaments. I was the guy who did not, you know, I created a safe environment for people at tournaments. It was literally the complete polar opposite of what this idiot said on stream. And I couldn't believe that people were telling me, did you hear that this guy said this and now people are saying this? I was like, what are you talking about, dude? Like, it doesn't make any sense at all. Like, it's complete nonsense. But again, I have no idea who he is, you know, but this is some of the dumb shit people say about me. And then the thing is, people will spread that as fact. They'll say, oh, Phil was the guy who was banned from the fighting game community for threatening people with knives at tournaments. Sure. What the fuck? No evidence, nothing. Just say whatever you want about me. Those are probably the two most ridiculous things. The escort thing and the threatening thing, because boy, were those ludicrous. The truth of the matter is, in reality, in these days, not a lot and much is said about me anymore. The things that are said about me are so blown out of proportion because what they try to do is they try to, oh, Phil said something, let's twist it and say it to someone else to get him in trouble, right? Let's make it sound like Phil said one thing that he didn't really say so that we can get him in trouble with other people who will then shit on him publicly because it's hilarious to hear people shit on Phil publicly, right? So that's what they try to do now. They try to twist my stuff to be stuff that I didn't say. They mass report me to Twitch and try to get me in trouble for stuff I didn't do. That's what they try to do today, because really the reality of the fact is I'm very different than I used to be. There was a time when, yeah, there was controversial stuff going on my streams and videos all the time. That doesn't really happen anymore. I'm more laid back now. I'm a lot less rage prone. I certainly don't take the bait in a lot of cases. Like, for example, a few people here today were cheering about, asking about detractors. I'm not going to bring that shit up. That's a waste of my time. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. All right. Let's see here. Hold on. What on earth are you talking about, social and national? There's no way I'm reading that tweet. Or that cheer. It's completely politically fueled. I have no idea what he's saying. Oh my god. Let's go to the next question. Oh my god, excuse me. Okay. From AJ Lee, the Geek Goddess on Twitter. She asks, would you ever consider completing the playthrough of Dino Crisis that you started years ago? I wouldn't. There's certain games that I play over the years for special events, like, for example, maybe an Indies marathon or horror games marathon, and I play a game for a few hours. And some of these games, eventually, I did go back to, and they became full playthroughs. And there's been other games that I never went back to. Dino Crisis is one of the games. I think it was 2 years ago. It could be longer than that now. But I did it for some kind of a marathon. And people really enjoyed it during that. But then never really was there massive demand for me to go back and finish it. Guys, Patron's Choice. Right? This is what Patron's Choice is for. Pledge $5 or more to my Patreon, nominate these games and vote on them and make them playthroughs. All right? That's the whole point of me doing Patron's Choice. So, there's your answer. AJ Lee, the Goddess. Go and become a patron and nominate and vote, and maybe Dino Crisis will finally finish. There you go. Okay, let's see here. From Il Axel Roderick, he asks, do you think we're going to see more single-player games on the Microsoft console now that God of War made a wave in the industry? I don't know, because I already talked about this earlier on the show, how Microsoft bigwigs came out and said, oh, single-player games, you know, are not what gamers want. Just look at track results, right? And then you get God of War, blows everything out of the fucking water, and now all of a sudden Microsoft's got egg on their face because they look really stupid for saying stuff like that, right? Okay. All right, we got another troll who just got banned. A lot of troll cheers today. A lot of troll cheers. They think I'm going to address them when in reality I'm not going to. So there you go. Anyway, that being said, it's weird because Microsoft seems to be flavor of the month in a lot of ways. Whatever seems to be the popular thing, that's what they got to get in on, right? And so Microsoft has been selling their game devs, you got to develop more online co-op games. Look at Sea of Thieves. a game that's very bare bones, but hopefully people will play it because they'll get hooked on it playing with their friends, just like people got hooked on Destiny and hooked on The Division and hooked on all these other co-op games. Let's hope they get hooked, and then we could get them with a constant revenue stream later of DLCs and other shit, right? I think it's stupid. I think that if you look at the core of gaming, we have a proven track record that single-player games that have AAA quality development, great stories, great graphics, great gameplay, robust amount of stuff to do in the game with, you know, bang for your buck kind of value, these games always do well. I don't think we've had a giant AAA release in the past 20 years where a bunch of investment and a bunch of effort and a bunch of non-stuff went into it and it didn't sell well. Name one. You know what I mean? The problem is these game development companies now are looking for the quick buck. Well, that's great. We sold the game on day one, but then we didn't get the giant revenue stream coming out the butt end of the game too, and that's what they're looking for. So they're looking to nickel and dime you with the Destiny games, buy every DLC, right? Or buy this game and then do 1 million microtransactions after the fact. That's what they want. That's their life's blood right now, is to get an insane amount of money out of every game that they release. Also, they don't want to put a lot of time and effort into game development. They want to put out a game within 2 years that's going to bring in an insane amount of revenue for them. So that's the problem right now. You know, Microsoft claims, oh, we didn't have enough time to develop our own game studios or whatever. No, the problem is you told your game studios to develop bad games that could have revenue streams for you instead of developing good games that would sell. So instead of God of War, you now have Sea of Thieves and no one's ever going to play it. So it's your own fault. You know what I mean? Like, you guys say, that's Microsoft's fault. Now, will Microsoft management wise the fuck up now and say, oh shit, we really screwed the pooch here. We shouldn't have tried to go on this stupid cooperative games trend and instead we should just make good games again? I don't know, but when you look at Microsoft's IPs, Halo has fallen off. Really, the Halo games are nowhere near as good as they used to be. Gears of War has fallen off, right? We've got State of Decay 2 coming out in May. That's a Microsoft exclusive. Okay, great. Hopefully that's good because State of Decay 1 was a really huge hit. But outside of that, what else does Microsoft really have anymore? What are the Microsoft exclusive IPs that are going to put gamers butts in seats to buy their game and play the game and hype their games? I don't know. You can't live on the past for so long. They're living on the laurels of Halo and Gears of War, and that could only go so far. Where are your new IPs that are going to drive your console sales and drive the success of your game studios? I don't see them, you know? So, in reality, you know, even if Microsoft Game Studio heads said, oh shit, we got to get back to single-player games, what could they do? You know, I don't know. Do they even have the talent? Are these guys talented enough to put out a game at the level of God of War? I don't know. I mean, we all definitely have to applaud Santa Monica Studios for putting out one of the best games in years, right? Definitely God of War. A higher level than a lot of the crap that we've been playing for a long time, all right? So we got to give credit where credit is due. That game definitely is going above and beyond what people are expecting for a standard AAA release these days. But Microsoft, man, they got to do so much more to get on par. So I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do. Maybe they realize they can't live up to that hype. Or that level, that expectation. I don't know. We'll find out, I guess. All right, so a few shout-outs here. Shout out to Kate, who cheered 25 bits. And what are your thoughts on wrestling? Do you think it was better back in the day or now in modern day? I would say back in the day when there was the era when everything was like mystical figures, these giants who were wrestling in the ring and you actually thought it was real, that was a completely different era. Then finally when that was kind of drawn back during the early 2000s and everyone realized, oh, okay, wrestling's fake. I think that whole kind of 2000s up to maybe a few years ago kind of sucked. But now we've got this modern era where all these people are coming in from the indies. We've got NXT, plus we've got multiple branding. We've got different shows. I think wrestling is actually at a really good place right now, and I'm enjoying it. There you go. Oh, keep going here. Haseo did a 100-bit cheer and said, here's a non-troll cheer. Thank you, Haseo. Social and National did a 25-bit cheer and said, do you think there should be more third-person games? I like Spec Ops The Line, and I personally like third-person games. Oh, yeah, there's nothing wrong with third-person perspective. And I think, personally, there's a lot more that can be done with the genre. We've seen third-person games be very popular recently, you know, in RPGs, shooters, action-based games, adventure games. It could be a lot of different stuff. Third-person games are great. Kula, 116, just did a 500-bit cheer. Thank you very much, Kula. I actually believe you're the cheerleader for today, by the way. And he says, cheers from a longtime viewer. Hope all is well. Thank you very much for that, Kula. Appreciate that. And Kula also subscribed to the channel for the 4th month in a row. So there you go. Thank you, Kula, for the 4-month resub. Great. All right, let's keep going. We got more Twitter questions, guys. Here we go. From Kekin. What's up, Kekin? He asked a question. He says, what do you think about the clear shift of a lot of older video game characters that are starting to have now where they're in fatherhood or their older years? For example, Kratos, Joel, Nathan Drake, Kazuma Kiryu, etc. I think it's a natural progression, Kekin, because here's the thing. Now games are being taken more seriously, and I think what game developers are realizing, gamers are getting older. People in their 30s and 40s are still gaming because they grew up with gaming, and it's become an integral part of their entertainment and their lives. So you want to see your favorite characters who over the years you've grown up with and played through various game franchises, you want to see them become older, become more mature, and learn to be things like fathers and dads, just like normal people. You want your characters to be relatable. The bottom line is there's video game characters out there that are not relatable. Duke Nukem is not a relatable video game character. He's a super machismo, super into, you know, getting his own way and adrenaline pumping, tearing enemies apart, but he never gets older. He doesn't have life-relatable issues. All he does is blow the shit out of enemies and aliens with guns, and then he has sex with women. That's it. That's not a relatable character because it's not realistic. That's a overgeneralized character. But when you look at the more hyper-realistic characters, like a Nathan Drake, like a Kazuma Kiryu, right? These characters who you've now played in 3, 4, 5 games, you want to see something that's a lot more relatable. And to see someone like Kratos, who for 4 video games, actually more than that because there were the PSP games too, but for at least 4 video games, was this very rage-centered character. All he cared about was getting revenge and killing the gods and all the horrible things the gods did to him. He needs to tear them apart and get ultimate revenge on them. And to see him now evolve and become a character who actually cares about his son and completely change and become more relatable and become more realistic like all of us, and to face situations like parenting that all of us face in our real lives. It's cool. And what it shows is that they realize gamers are becoming more mature. Gaming is no longer, I just come home from work and I sit down in front of my TV for an hour and I fuck around with some game to just kill time and I put it down. I don't think about it again. Now games are big ongoing narrative experiences with characters we love and cherish. Characters just like a book, a television show, or a movie. Characters that you want to see succeed. You have an investment in watching what they do or playing their games. So you want to see them have natural progression. You don't want it to be that every time you pick up the controller, it resets status back to the beginning like a cartoon. Remember cartoon shows? There were cartoon shows that had ongoing narrative that treated their characters seriously, but then there were cartoon shows that no matter what happens on the cartoon, the whole plot resets and the next episode, everything's back to normal. We don't want that. We want ongoing, realistic life stories of these characters, and that's what we're getting with a lot of these characters in modern games, and in my opinion, that's great. Now, a lot of people don't look for that. They're into the new fad. They're either into the Battle Royale, where all I do is play Battle Royale games all day, or the online cooperative grinding. Those games, you're not going to get these evolving characters and narrative stories, but I think that there is a place for all kinds of games. So there you go. Okay. Let's see here. Social and National Charity said, do you think there's a way to make third-person games less irritating? For example, your Modern Warfare 2, when you tried to play it in third person, or also when you played Spec Ops The Line, you were getting shot through entire planes and crates, and you disliked the multiplayer of third-person games. I mean, I'm not a game designer. I can't answer those questions, but just because you're not in first person, right, sometimes games can be more difficult. So, for example, all right, you'll be doing something in a game, all of a sudden you walk off a ledge, you die. Well, wait a minute, it's not real life. I'm not in first person where I can put my foot down on the ground, okay? Oh, I feel there's a ledge there that I'm falling off of, right? I don't have situational awareness like in real life first person of things going on around me in a third person game. In a lot of ways, you just need a wide field of vision so you can see what's going on in a third person game. So in a lot of ways, what you're saying, Social and National, is actually very true. Sometimes third person games can be more difficult than first because you don't get to be in the feet of the person. You know what I mean? And there's been some games where I'm like, man, yo, this is so stupid. Because in the game, it's a third-person game. I jump at the ledge. I'm right there. My hands, and then the game just, the guy goes, whoop, and he falls and dies. Well, in real life, I would fucking put my arm out and grab the ledge. But in this fucking game, it's so limited that he won't grab the fucking ledge. If I were there in real life, I wouldn't have died. But it's so stupid because the limitations they place upon the character in a third-person setting. I get that. But again, I'm not a game designer. So I'm not in a situation where I feel like I could say, here's the solution, eureka, right? All I could do is tell you when I find it annoying. And yes, sometimes the third-person games, I find it very annoying if you can't see situationally really where you are. You can't see where you're getting shot from. You can't tell if you can make a jump. That kind of stuff kills me, because in first person or in real life, you can usually tell. And in third person, sometimes it can be very difficult to judge. There you go. Let's do another shout out. Got another cheer here from Aliphisaurus, who says, when you were in high school and college, were girls mysteriously hard to read? Nowadays, high school and college girls seem just to go for the guys with a lot of money or who are assholes. Was it like that when you were in school? For me, here's the thing. Girls liked me because I was a nice guy, and I would be very friendly to girls. I was respectful of women. I wasn't a sexist pig, or I wasn't, drooling all over them. But because I was the nice guy, I finished last. A lot of the times in school, the girls would want to be friends with me, but they wouldn't ever want to, advance it past that level, all right? And sadly, that's kind of the hole you fall in. For some reason, younger girls, in a lot of cases, they like the asshole. They like the guy who plays hard to get, who teases them, who treats them bad. Or, on the flip side, the guy who's good looking and has a lot of money and drives the nice fancy car, Those are kind of the two kind of stereotypical guys that a lot of girls go for. Now, that doesn't mean that's every girl. There's exceptions to the rule or whatever, all right? So understand, I'm not trying to overgeneralize or anything here, but those are just kind of the stereotypes that are very prominent with younger women, at least in the United States, in my experience, all right? But what you'll find is that changes over time, because eventually most women will reach an age where they realize, man, I've been mistreated by every fucking asshole. It's funny, I go out with the asshole, and he treats me like dirt because he's an asshole. Amazing, right? It's like some women, they go after the bad boy, but then they realize that he is a bad boy, and now they don't want to be with him anymore. Or some women just sadly just continuously be mistreated by this guy over and over, which is horrible. But a lot of women think they could change. Oh, I can make that guy change. I'll turn him into a respectable guy who I want to, have a family with and whatever. And that stuff never works. Almost never, okay? But what ends up happening is about, I'd say, probably around mid-20s to 30s, a lot of women start to realize that things are a lot different. And now there are guys out there who maybe aren't total assholes, right? The guys who didn't get the attention when they were much younger. But now that they've stayed the course, they're nicer guys, they have jobs, they have responsibilities and lives. These are the guys that you want to be with, not the guy who was out there who was the frivolous dick who was out doing drugs and drinking and treating women like trash and doing stupid shit like that. Or the guy who was so rich and good looking and mighty that, he thought that he was hot shit, and then come to find out later on in life he's a failure, right? I've seen a lot about that. I've seen a lot like that. Let me put it that way. So, I mean, it's tough. When you're young, you got to play the game. If you want to get the girl, you got to play hard to get. You got to tease girls. You got to be an asshole. You know what I mean? Like, you got to dress nice. You got to do the things in order to qualify for the checklist of what younger girls kind of look for in the United States. But when you get older, it gets a lot easier. Let me put it that way. I've had... let's put it this way. Even though I did get attention when I was young, don't get me wrong. When I was in high school and college, there were a lot of girls, that liked me, and I liked back and stuff like that. But it's been a lot different since, I'd say, probably my mid-20s on than it was back then. There was like a switch that shift, a switch flipped or something. I don't know. But it just seems like the mentality changes. It does. It seems like the mentality changes. So... there you go. All right, let's go ahead and continue with Twitter questions. In fact, probably only time for one or two more, and then we're going on break. And then the last segment of the show this week is going to be finishing up with Twitter questions and Stream Chat Q&A for the last segment, which will probably be a shorter segment, by the way. All right, from Dante Salvador. Dante Salvador, here we go. He says, Phil, would you consider implementing tip milestones in your streams? For example, if you reach $50 in tips for the day, would you paint a red tattoo like Kratos on your face for your next God of War stream? Or, if you reach $50 during a PUBG stream, would you paint camo on you? It would be hilarious. It would be hilarious. It would also be stupid, immature, and just prove that the reason I'm streaming is as a publicity stunt or to make money rather than to actually enjoy a game or have fun with my stream chat. I think it's stupid. It's just another gimmick, like dyeing your hair or overacting for a game or whatever. And not to say that every once in a while I won't do something silly, all right, because I will. But at the same time, I think that that's stupid to do that. I love God of War. I think it's a great game. I can play it at length, have fun with it, whether I'm doing side content or the story. Just because someone tips me doesn't mean now I'm going to paint my body to look like Kratos and do a publicity stunt. Because it's all it is. It's a publicity stunt to get attention from kids. And no, I'm not going to do that. I've been someone who for 10 years has played games for the love of the game. I've stayed away from doing stunts and stupid shit like that, and I don't want to. I want my streams and my gameplay sessions to be me sharing my love of the game with you guys firsthand. That's how I focus myself and my content on. Not, oh, today, what crazy stunt is Phil going to do on stream today to bring more viewers and make him big tons of money? And I know other streamers do that. That's not who I am. That's not what I'm all about. So, no, I would never do crazy publicity stunts and stuff like that. Okay. Shout out to Good Vibe City, who says, this hat suits me very well. Thank you, Good Vibe City. Shout out to Ren Jesse James, who cheered and said, my first semester of college, an incredibly beautiful girl in my acting class showed interest in me, but I was too young and stupid to act on it. Later on, only cougars showed interest. Now I'm 28 and no one looks at me twice. Sorry to hear that. Don't worry about it. Ren Jesse James, a lot of guys get so depressed and so fucked up in the head because of stuff like that. The bottom line is, if you're just patient and you take care of yourself, you're probably going to end up finding someone in your life eventually. There's a lot of people out there, a lot like you, probably as well. As long as you're not looking for the crazy, unattainable, stupid, ridiculous stereotype of a gorgeous supermodel girl who's going to somehow fall in love with you, or a girl who's filthy rich, If you're just more realistic in your expectations, more than likely you're going to end up finding someone. All right, Social and National asks, do I like anime? Some I do, some I don't. Just much like most people, okay? All right, let's end part 2. Let's take a short break, a few minutes here on stream. If you're watching on YouTube, I'm just going to end this part. Part 3, I'm going to come back and finish. I still got 4 or 5 Twitter questions, and then we're going to go to stream chat questions. So for those of you who've been holding back your cheers, subs, and tips because you wanted shout-outs to ask me questions during the stream, now will be the time to let loose with that in this third and final segment, all right? So, guys, thank you so far for a great show. I will see you in a few minutes for the conclusion of Ask the King. Peace out, everyone. See you in a few.
Shoot him in the face, cause he's on the fucking floor. He's on the fucking floor. That's how we fucking do, son. Thugs on the floor, we got thugs on the floor. Shoot him in the face, cause the thugs on the floor. Thugs on the floor, we got thugs on the floor. Shoot him in the face, cause the thugs on the floor. Bugs in the air, we got bugs in the air. Shoot him in the face, cause he's on the fucking floor. Shepherd on the floor, it was Shepherd on the floor. Shoot him in the face, cause he's on the fucking floor. Bugs in the air, we got bugs in the air. Flying everywhere, fucking bugs in the air. Shoot him in the face, cause it's thugs on the floor. Thugs on the floor. Shoot him in the face, cause it's thugs on the floor. Thugs on the floor. Shoot him in the face, cause it's thugs on the floor. Thugs on the floor. Shoot him in the face, cause it's thugs on the floor. Thugs on the floor.
The rain is very heavy, heavy is the rain, just the rain has lots of mass and weight and volume. The rain is very heavy, heavy is the rain, just the rain has lots of mass and weight. The rain is very heavy, heavy is the rain, just the rain has lots of mass and weight. The rain is very heavy, heavy is the rain, just the rain has lots of mass and weight and volume. The rain is very heavy, heavy is the rain, just the rain has lots of mass and weight. The rain is very heavy, heavy is the rain, just the rain has lots of mass and weight. The rain is very heavy, heavy is the rain, just the rain has lots of mass and weight. The rain is very heavy, heavy is the rain, just the rain has lots of mass and weight and volume. The rain is very heavy is the rain, just the rain has lots of mass and weight, 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 of mass and weight. The rain is very heavy is the rain, just the rain has lots of mass and weight. The rain is very heavy is the rain, just the rain has lots of mass and weight. The rain is very heavy is the rain, just the rain has lots of mass and weight. The rain is very heavy is the rain, just the rain has lots of mass and weight, mass and weight, mass and weight. The rain is very heavy is the rain, just the rain has lots of mass and weight, mass and weight, mass and weight. The rain is very heavy is the rain, just the rain has lots of mass and weight, mass and weight, mass and weight. The rain is very heavy is the rain, just the rain has lots of mass and weight, mass and weight, mass and weight. The rain is very heavy is the rain, just the rain has lots of mass and weight, mass and weight, mass and weight. The rain is very heavy is the rain, just the rain has lots of mass and weight, mass and weight, mass and weight. The rain is very heavy is the rain, just the rain has lots of mass and weight, mass and weight, mass and weight. The rain is very heavy is the rain, just the rain has lots of mass and weight, mass and weight, mass and weight. The rain is very heavy is the rain, just the rain has lots of mass and weight, mass and weight, mass and weight. The rain is very heavy is the rain, just the rain has lots of mass and weight, 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 mass and weight.
Oh fuck, oh fuck, oh fuck, oh fuck, oh fuck, oh! Whoa! Kill that motherfucker. Pedestrian squish. And he was stuck at my car. Here we go, making my move. And he hits me. Nothing I can do. T-bone me. T-bone again. Nothing I can do. We never been died to T-bone people. Hey, fuck you. What the fuck? Yo, where did he come from? He came from off the screen and T-bone. Well, come on, I'm tired of getting fucking T-bone, man. Every 2 seconds. Here we go again. I barely grazed the wall. Complete destruction. What a good start. And I killed the pedestrian. I barely grazed the wall. Complete destruction. Fucking straight up murder. That was fucking brutal. Oh my god, this guy, get the fuck out of my car. Oh. crash. Oh my god, I'm gonna qualify. It is crashing on me. Oh god! I qualified. Oh man, that was fucking serious shit. Here we go again. I barely grazed the wall. Complete destruction. What a good start. And I killed the pedestrian. I barely grazed the wall. Complete destruction. Fucking straight up murdered him. I wrecked and now I'm winning. Explain that one.
Winning.
Whatever you say, dude. He took the plunge.
Do a barrel roll.
What?
Do a barrel
Whatever
roll.
you say.
Do a barrel. Do a barrel.
Okay.
Do a barrel roll.
What?
Do a
Double side flip.
do a barrel. Do a barrel. Use the brake.
I couldn't do anything about it. Died. Well, I could have went either way. Instead, I went right in the middle and got fucked up like an idiot. Whatever, man. That was stupid. I take off like an astronaut, jumping on the moon. I'm so high. Yo, he's stuck in the land. Whoa! Woohoo! I barely grazed the wall. Complete destruction. Fucking straight up murdered him. I barely grazed the wall. Complete destruction. What a good start. And I killed the pedestrian. I barely grazed the wall. Complete destruction.
Use the brake.
I am dead. There we go.
Shitty game, shitty player, shitty commentary.
Wow. That's all I gotta say. Wow. Uh-oh, we let the soul swim free. Who let the souls out?